So if you're ready, I'm ready. Wherever you're practicing today, and we're using a chair, so starting in a chair. And I do have my mic on, just a little behind the scenes stuff. I do have my mic on, but we are so lucky. We live really close to the elementary school. And I think it's recess time. So if you hear little yelps and hollers of joy, we'll just kind of bring that into our creative fun mix today too. But that's probably coming up from the playground up there, the little morning recess as you get your recess on your yoga mat today. All right, friends, finding a comfortable seat in your chair to begin. So throughout the month, our poetry has been from Mary Oliver. And on our first class in March, the first week of March, I offered 2 poems that kind of spoke to each other. So I wanted to end our practice this month with 2 poems by Mary Oliver. It's kind of like my secret way of getting more poems in by her. I just love her poetry, but nice way to bookend. So this first poem, bringing it in as you just find your comfortable seat, find your connection to the space of your practice, this time for you. Inviting these words in of Mary Oliver as they speak to you today, inviting these words in for inspiration as you might journey through this practice this morning or this day, my morning. This poem by Mary Oliver is called When I Am Among Trees. When I am among the trees, especially the willows and the honey locust, equally the beech, the oaks, and the pines, they give off such hints of gladness. I would almost say that they save me, and daily. I am so distant from the hope of myself, in which I have goodness and discernment, and never hurry through the world, but walk slowly and bow often. Around me, the trees stir in their leaves and call out, "Stay a while." The light flows from their branches, and they call again. It's simple, they say. And you too have come into the world to do this, to go easy, to be filled with light, and to shine. So taking in these words, wisdom of the trees, a gift from Mary Oliver. When I am among trees, when I am among nature, nature sometimes makes change and transformation look easy. The seed coming up through the ground of dirt to grow and sprout and evolve into the air and the sun and all the elements of this space on earth. The message of the poem, the message of the trees is that you too can play with those qualities. So how about we invite those qualities in today? If you wish, bring your hands together at your heart center. Offering a nod to the wisdom of nature, the wisdom of the nature within you, welcoming in a quality and sense of play and ease as we transform and journey in this practice. As you settle here, you might notice a more subtle quality of the movement of your breath. And if it feels okay to you, invite this rhythm to grow in any way it feels just right. Shifting from a subtle current to maybe just a fuller current on your inhale. filling up, expanding belly, ribs, and chest. As you release the breath, perhaps keep the chest buoyant, as around that buoyant heart, you soften shoulders, shoulder blades, releasing down to the earth. Take about 2 more, just playing with your breath, seeing how it feels to grow and expand that inhale. Keeping some buoyancy at the top of that inhale, sustaining that as you exhale, the peripheral experience, softening, grounding. One more breath for you here with this focus. Wonderful. On your next inhale, inviting the hands up towards your ceiling, the sky beyond. Exhaling, reaching those arms down to your side. Let's do that 2 more times. Inhaling, sweeping up. Exhaling, releasing down. Taking 1 more here, inhaling, reaching up. Exhale, release it down. This time, just the left arm's going to go up. Right arm can rest on your right leg. And then side bend over to your right. And as you side bend, moving in a way where the structure of your body can still create ease, not falling too far over where the left hip comes up or you feel a toppling sensation. Just enough, just like trees do in the wind. It's just enough. And then bring that back up and out. Left arm can rest on the left leg. Right arm will float up. Side bending to your left. Again, feeling into the side bend. Leaning in any amount, but when you start to feel that right side want to pick up, keep it grounded. Maybe back out just a little bit. Right. And then now releasing all the way out. Again, take it inhale with both arms reaching up. And then down. Greeting the first runner 4, bringing your right leg up. Saying good morning here. Maybe give your right foot a little massage. Saying hello. Nice. And then from the foot, say hello to the lower leg. And right now I'm kind of doing a little kneading action, but it might be nice to give it a little pitter pat. Maybe with your palms, or sometimes a little chop, chop, chop. Chopping some carrots, cucumbers up and down your leg. That can feel nice. Using this focus as a way to kind of wake up the body, the sensory experience. Right. And then coming around to the knee, maybe give some love over to the knee, just swirling around. Right. And then coming up to the hip. And now from the hip, we're going to do that sliding movement out. So with your right hand, just slide from the high thigh out to the knee. And do that about 4 times. Wonderful. And then letting that be. And from all that energy, find some settling. Just being with the pose, being with the shape. What story is it saying this practice this day for you? And now as you keep the legs in this shape, focus on the left foot, left leg, lifting the heel up and lowering. So not trying to change and force the right leg to do anything. We offer the focus to the left side to then tell a story of new sensation, waking up around the hips, waking up the legs. Right. Next time the left heel is up, keep that there. Feel a little energetic of the muscle. So like an energetic connection up into the lower belly, up into the thighs. Bring that up through the torso and reach your arms up. If it's comfortable for you here, start to think of drawing the head up, 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 and look between the hands. And releasing that, bringing those arms all the way down, nice and easy, lowering that left heel down. Release the right leg. And before we switch sides, maybe again, give yourself a little shimmy side to side, a little in and out. Right. And then reset. Left leg will come up this time. Greeting this first runner's four. And it's kind of like you just get right in and start to greet the shape. Say hello to the left foot. So good to see you, left foot. How's it going today? Just like plants, right? In nature, they say, talk to your plants. They grow better, right? Areas of the body are the same. Give it some love. How often do you give your foot attention and care? And then from the foot coming up to the lower leg, hello, lower leg. Maybe you give it a little knead. Maybe you like the little tap or the chop, chop, chop. Seeing where that feels a little better. How does it feel on the bone? That's a little weird. Does it feel better in the muscles? Do you like the weird and you want to, karate chop the bone? Go for it. Or do you just want to stay with the kneading? All right, from the lower leg coming around the knee and just like a little whirlpool massage around the knee. I'm not using too much pressure. I'm just really smoothing the hands all around, waking up that fascial connection, right? Fascia is everywhere in the body. It connects all the muscles, joints, everything. And with a smooth touch, you start to ease, right? Easy does it. We start to ease the qualities of mobility and movement in these areas, circulation. All right, from the knee coming up to the thigh, and again, we'll start on the upper thigh and sliding that left hand out towards the knee. Not pushing down hard. We're not trying to force the bone at all, right? Or force that knee down. Again, just using that kind of fascial smoothing out. Last one, and letting that be. And then from the care of the legs, settle in your pose. Check in on this side, how it feels. Right. Focusing on the right foot, right leg, bringing the right heel up and lowering it just a few times. Seeing how that feels this morning. Okay. Next time you bring the heel up, just keep it up. Notice how that sent that muscular chain reaction. You might feel it a little more in your upper thighs or even the lower belly. And now let's move some energy up the body. Reach your arms up to your ceiling, up past it to the sky. And again, if it's feeling good in the neck today, think of lifting from the heart to help lift the gaze. Look between your hands. One more breath. And now releasing arms all the way down, releasing that right heel. Adjust here so your left leg can come down. Again, any little wiggles out, side to side or in and out. Perfect. And finding neutral once more. Getting ready for mountain pose, sitting right on the edge of your seat here. So that's going to give you momentum to propel forward. On the way to mountain, we'll greet a variation of chair pose. So you might like to start with your arms reaching out, again, thinking of how we can add ease to this getting out of the chair. So maybe start rocking us forward and back. Right, so I'm like reaching towards you and coming back, like I'm in a rocking chair. And now as you reach forward, you might notice that weight come down into the legs, into the feet. And when you're ready on a rock forward, put more weight into the feet, lift your seat a little. Hop off the seat so that you come into a little chair. Nice. Grounding here to both feet, maybe a moment of shifting side to side to really get settled, right foot, left foot. Gentle bend to the knees, hips are slightly hinged, and now with arms reaching out in front, broaden them slightly wider than shoulders, and then reach them forward and up any amount. Pressing into the feet. On your next inhale, come tall with the body, maybe looking up between the hands. And now release. Arms come down to the side. Great. Inviting the feet just a little bit wider here. Now I have some flowy pants on today, so you can't really see my knees too well, but bending your knees slightly, it's like you're settling into the earth. Arms are nice and loose, like little octopus arms. They're not really arms, octopus legs, tentacles are just swaying in the ocean. And now invite some rotation. Now I like to pick up my back heel as I do this. Sometimes it feels good to keep both feet down without picking up the heel. But finding this movement for you. Now, if I don't think too much about it, the arms just start to swirl around me. Right. Right. And maybe they give little taps around that lower back area as you swirl around. Right. Fun way to invite rotation of the torso in. Just a couple more times each side. And allowing that movement to slow. Almost like the end of a spin cycle in your washer. That sound of and then the washer is done. Find your mountain. Just soaking in that aftertaste of the movement. Noticing your feet, sensation down into your feet, grounding, earthing into the floor. And then from the earth, from the floor, there's this nourishing energy coming up through the body. You might even feel your skin and muscles hug to the bones, growing a little taller here. With that growing, it might feel nice to express the shoulders. Bring them up towards the ears. And then easy does it, soften those shoulders down. Let the hands hang heavy by your side. Rooted from hips to feet. Yet an essence of growing tall from waist to heart to the top of the head. Take one more breath here. And releasing your mountain to adjust your chair if needed. It's getting ready for our half sun salutations. And then we'll move that into the longer flow of our chair salutations today. So now turning your chair towards the top of your mat if it's not there already. Getting your mountain set up just a little further back from your chair so you have room for those folds we've been working on this month. Starting in mountain pose, greeting it here. Feeling into the rhythm of your breath. And on an inhale, sweeping the arms up, tall mountain. Exhaling, folding forward towards your chair. Palms on the chair as you take a bow. Gentle bend to knees, elbows, torso folds. With hands on the chair, inhaling, halfway lift. Legs grow long, spine grows long, arms grow long. Exhale back into your fold. On this fold, you can really feel that push back down into the feet. Use that to help you up. Inhale, lift from the legs, up through the heart, hands to the sky. Bringing the hands down on an exhale. Let's keep that going. Repeat it here. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhale, bringing your hands down to the chair. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Tall mountain here. Inhale all the way up. Exhaling, hands to heart. One more time, the rhythm of your pace. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhaling, forward fold. Inhaling, halfway lift. Exhaling, forward fold. Tall mountain as you inhale. Hands to heart, exhale. About 2 breaths here, just a pause, arms by your side. Again, from the energy of the movement of half sun salute, when we come to mountain, we invite the energy just to create some stillness. Like in every moment, we can drop a pebble into the now. But when you drop a pebble into the pond, it creates dynamic movement, the ripples. But then that pebble settles. And then the rippling movement is not so grand. It's very subtle. Let's add on now. Creating some more whoop, drops of pebbles into this moment. Inhale, tall mountain. Exhaling, forward fold. Halfway lift as you inhale. And this time as you exhale, just use the exhale and maybe another inhale to adjust your hands and get ready for a lunge. I'm holding the outside of my chair. I feel more sturdy when I do that. You might like that as well. Right foot steps a little bit forward. Left foot is going to step back to the back of your mat. Take your lunge here. Now, as you settle into the lunge, this isn't an upright lunge, obviously, we're leaning forward. So in this pose, we can get a little more energy of rooting down into the chair. We can get strong into that back leg and feel this long line from the back leg up through the torso, up through the chest. Maybe take your gaze up. Nice, pausing here. Spine nice and long. Getting ready for plank pose. Right foot is going to step back. So if you need to adjust the left foot for a moment because you know in your body how that might feel to step back, do so. Give yourself a little wiggle then when both feet are back. Finding the position of plank. Reaching strong through the legs, reach your heels back and down. Push down into the chair to firm up the arms. And now the whole body is in this plank shape, front of the body, and I'm moving up to meet the back side of the body. Let's go 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog with our chair. Start to move the hips back, pivoting around with your feet if needed. So stepping the feet where they're most comfortable. It might even feel nice today to take your feet as wide as your mat. A little bend to the knees, and now turning the palms back down to the seat of the chair and send your hips back. The spine will lower, torso will lower a little bit. Ears might hover between the arms. In down dog, we're kind of focusing on what it feels like to get long in the spine, get long through the torso. So you might notice here with the help of this chair, knees again can be slightly bent. The pelvis is moving away from the shoulders. Rooting the hands down, you can allow the top of the head to feel like it could move just a little bit more towards the back of your chair. It's very subtle. Feeling into this. How about one more breath? Find some ease, maybe some buoyancy. Instead of making one big step up, maybe get some buoyancy in the knees, the hips, the shoulders. You start to bring the torso up slightly so that it's easier to walk those feet in closer to the chair. Okay. Rooting down through your legs and feet. Let's stand tall, mountain pose. Hands down to your heart. Exhale. Doing another round so that we can do the lunge with the left leg in front. On an inhale, reaching arms high, tall mountain. On an exhale, bringing those hands forward, palms down to your chair. Halfway lift, long through the legs, long through the spine. And then let the body breathe, adjusting the hands, getting ready for the lunge. Take your time. Left foot might like to step slightly forward, sending your right leg back. Creating your shape on this side, checking in. How's it feeling today? Maybe some energy, a little bit more around that right leg, skin and muscle hug to the bone, and you reach that right heel back. And then with the arms, any amount, push the chair down. And notice when you push the chair down, the torso moves away from the chair a little. It's very similar quality to what we're going to feel in plank pose, right? Or what you just felt in plank pose. But let's pause here from your back right foot, up the right leg, up through the torso, perhaps gaze forward. And now getting ready for plank. Adjusting for your body today, doing what you need, maybe a little step on that right foot to make it easier for that left foot to come back to meet it. And then wiggle around to find your stance where you feel balanced and steady. And now bring that muscle energy in. Hug skin and muscle to the bones. Reach those heels back. Feel the whole front body coming up to meet the back body as you push down into arms and hands. Steadying yourself here. 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Take care, take your time, adjust the feet. Again, if you liked the broader stance, you could take that again. Or maybe you like your feet a little closer together. Starting to send your hips back, and as the hips go back, you can bend the knees a little bit more. Turning the palms back down to the seat of your chair. Nice. Now, as you're sending the hips back, the pelvis is moving away from the shoulders. You might even notice a slight lift of your lower deep belly. So as the hips move back, the lower belly almost counters it ever so gently. Crown of the head, very subtle, reaching towards the back side of your chair. One more breath. And now again, find a little buoyancy. The joints of the shoulders, joints of the knees and hips start to find a little movement, and then walk it back to your chair. Right, grounding into your feet, rise up to your mountain. Hands to your heart. Exhale. Right. Releasing, take a moment just to maybe wiggle that out. And getting ready for a balancing sequence. As we journey towards this runner's 4 balance, we'll start with tree pose. Today, we're going to take tree facing the chair to play and evolve out of chair. So, facing your chair, perhaps you'd like to start with hands on your hips. Shifting weight into your left leg, drawing the right leg up into your tree. And knowing when you take your tree, it's your choice where you want this root branch to go, right? You can keep it low, toes on the ground. You can invite it up higher if you'd like. Listen in today. What is the nature of you wanting to create? You can keep hands on hips, or the energy of your tree might want to shape change and get creative, taking those arms into a new quality of your tree. Noticing an essence of plank pose here, front side of the body wanting to meet the back side of the body without collapsing in. And now from this tree pose, hands can come back to your hips. Right leg, right foot, whoop, you can lose balance like me. Right foot, right leg is going to come up onto your chair. So in a variation of what we call stork balance, right, foot off the chair, this is also in a way, right, a lunge shape as well. We're just standing with one foot on the ground, one foot on the chair. So whatever you want to call this shape, let's bring your arms down by your side. Feel some groundedness down from hips into the legs. Getting a little taller through the torso and spine, arms come up, just like tall mountain. Pausing here, noticing your right hand, bring your right hand to your hip. I'm going to be turning away from you, but turn your head to look to your right, turning your neck. And as you do so, there might be a ripple effect of movement. You might notice it along the left side. It's like, ooh, I have a rotation coming up, this twist. You can add on to the twist, inviting the left side of the body to keep rotating to the right, maybe taking your left arm to the outside of your right leg. So your right hand, or sorry, Left hand rests to the outside of your right leg. I think that came out right. From here in this rotation, feel your left leg grounding strong down into the earth. You're welcome to keep your right hand on your right hip, or if you'd like a new exploration, reaching your right arm out and seeing if rotating the right arm, if there's a place you'd like to pause with that right arm. Where in the rotation of the arm, right? Is it rotating up, rotating down? Where does it feel good just to linger? And then from the heart space, reach out that right arm to the right hand. And then bringing right hand back to the hip if it was reaching out. Coming around back to center, hands on your hips. Right. And releasing out to take a little walk around. And maybe in your walk around, you need to get a little wiggly if that feels good. Getting ready for side two. Coming closer to your chair now. Getting ready for tree on the other side. Right leg grounding down into the floor. Left leg coming up, taking the shape of your tree today. Noticing in this tree shape, if the placement of the left leg created any kind of toppling one way or the other of the pelvis. And see if pelvis can be somewhat neutral to hold space for the thigh to move. And then once steady there, you might like to change the branches of your tree. Gaze can be fixed at one point. That often helps balance the neuromuscular system. Front side of the body, any amount feels like it's drawing in towards the back body. And now inviting the branches, the leaves of the hands to rest back on your hips. And inviting left knee forward, left foot on your chair. Resetting here if you need to, readjust. Right. And now grounding down through the legs. Left foot grounding into the chair, right foot grounding into the floor. Inviting your arms up into that tall mountain shape. And as you take the arms up, can you feel just by reaching up, your right leg actually wants to root down a little more. It's subtle, but when we listen to the nature of what our body is doing, right, we naturally find our way of balancing. Right leg rooting down, torso reaching up. And on this side, left hand now, getting ready for the twist. Left hand will come down to your hip. Just the head and neck, turn it to the left. And that sends a message, right? Kind of feel it crossing over to that right side. The right side's like, ooh, we're moving into a twist. Invite that right side along into the rotation. Maybe bringing the right arm to the outside of your left thigh. And again, if you want to play with that left arm, reaching it back and being easy with it, not trying to force it into shape, but being easy around the shoulder, the elbow, maybe playing with some rotation to see what feels good, to abide and linger for maybe 2 more breaths. Great. Bringing that hand back in to the left hip. Unwinding from the twist, right hand to your hip. Left foot leaves the chair. Back into a little waltz, a little walk. As you let that go, let that be. Your body's already downloading what it needs to know and learn from that process. All right, back to mountain. As you take mountain pose, let's do 3 down dogs and planks before we go to a runner 4. So coming to your chair, hands down to the chair. Walk your feet back, finding the essence of down dog. Now, in this variation, this play of postures, you might like to just keep your hands in the position of curling around the seat. But we'll take 3 here. In downward facing dog. On an inhale, start to lift up and forward. So not up dog, so we're not coming into a back bend, but just find your plank, this long quality of the body. And then push down into the chair, easy does it. Send your hips slightly up and then back. Take 2 more at your own pace, just playing with it here. Moving slow, as if you're watching a wave and on your TV, you could hit slow-mo. And then back. Sometimes we move too fast, and in moving too fast, we jam into the joints and we don't let the nature of the body find its way with more ease, efficiency. Great. Take an extra down dog here. I know you did 3 planks, but let's add 1 more down dog. And then from your down dog, walk your feet in. Keeping the hands on the chair here. Right. Bending your knees, right foot up on the left leg for runner's 4 shape. So a little bit of knees and bringing that right leg in. Nice. From here, you might like to play with lowering the hips. You can play with reaching your arms forward as you send your hips back, almost like a down dog shape. Or play with leaving the hands, look, mono hands, coming into more of the balancing shape. Take a moment to play in this practice, play in this pose, this shape that we've been, moving around in March. Okay. And wherever you're playing, bring the hands back to that plank pose, holding of the chair. Stand long and strong into your left leg as you release the right leg. And now a variation of warrior 3, send your right leg back. Now feel like you're doing plank in your upper body and your arms. Reach back into your right leg as if it too is doing plank pose. But now you have your left leg down to balance on. You can keep your hands in this plank pose position, or depending on your chair, you can reach towards the back of your chair. Nice. Maybe a quality of down dog comes into play as the torso might lower some and the ears float between the arms. And then if your hands were up on the back of your chair, bring them back to the seat. Bend your left knee a little bit and step your right foot next to the left. Right. With soft knees, rise up, mountain. Arms by your side, release. Give yourself a little wiggle around. Right. And we'll play that on the other side. So play with the runner's 4 again. Coming back to standing in mountain. Bend the knees slightly. Bring your hands to the chair in that kind of plank pose position. Right knee bends a little more. Left leg up on the right leg. Or left outer ankle on the right leg. From here on this side, play with your posture. Moving slow. Remember, like push your own slow-mo button. Moving slow, feel all the subtleties. If you want to keep it dynamic, if you just want to take one shape and balance there, abide there. Getting curious in your own practice, the nature of your play and pose. And then when you're ready, hands are going to come back, if not already, to that plank pose holding of the chair. Lifting the hips slightly to straighten your right leg, turning the left leg to bring the foot off the thigh, and then push that left leg back behind you. So we're in a warrior 3 type of a balance. Arms are going to ground out into your chair. Feel the hint of your plank pose here. It might not be a hint. It might be a very powerful. Yep, that feels like plank in those arms. Front side of the body, wanting to meet the back side. Reach into that left leg like it too is doing plank pose. Balancing on your right leg here. And if you have the capacity in your chair and you want to, take your hands to the high back of your chair. You can always just leave your hands down on the seat. 2 more breaths wherever you're balancing. Right. And now inviting that right knee to bend a little bit, bringing your left foot in. Both knees are soft. Root into your feet, coming up all the way to mountain. And then arms by your side. Great. All right, one more journey in this balancing pigeon pose. And now we'll flow from the balancing pigeon into a revolved triangle shape. So let's go back to left leg is your balancing leg. Right leg will be kind of in that angled shape. So starting from mountain pose, let's begin with hands on hips this time. Softening into your knees, bringing the right ankle up onto the left thigh. Any amount, keep bending the left leg like it's going to chair pose. Keeping the hands on the hips, or perhaps just playing with balance, arms out in front of you. Front of your hip creases are going to meet the back body as the hips slightly move back. All right. From here, turning your palms down, lean forward, hands come to the seat of your chair. Great. Now give yourself a little reset, lengthen your left leg and move your right leg back as if you were going to warrior 3, but instead bring the right foot down to the ground. And now we're in a variation of pyramid pose. Pyramid pose, both legs are long. The feet do not have to be very far away from each other, right? If you take the foot way back, it's almost like too much of a stretch. So both feet can be grounded here. Both toes on both feet, right toes, left toes, they're turning more towards your chair. Press down, thighs to feet, and from that rooting down, grounding into the earth, you might feel a slight buoyancy up to the torso. Nice. Pausing here, looking at your right hand, looking at your left hand. Right hand is going to go where the left hand is. Left hand's going to go on your left hip. And just by doing that, I might be like, oh, I'm slightly rotating. Check that out. Ground into your legs. Get long through your spine and maybe invite the right side of your torso to keep moving into the twist to the left. Any amount. You can even use that right hand to push into the chair, maybe come back away from the chair slightly as you rotate. Left hand, today maybe slide it around your back to perhaps hook around your right waist, if that feels good. It might not feel good in your shoulder, so keep it on your hip. Right. All right, releasing out of the rotation. Right hand is going to let the left hand go there, bringing the right hand back to the right side of the seat. Right, giving yourself a little soft bend into both knees so it's easier to step your right foot up. And from here, inhale, tall mountain. And then back to heart center. All right, one more time through, here we go. Last chance with this balancing runners 4 this month. Coming into that little chair. Shifting weight into your right leg. Inviting the left ankle to the right thigh, coming in, whoop, coming out, coming in. Lose your balance like me if you want. That's part of the play. Coming into a bent knee on the right side, reaching your arms out in front of you. Feeling all the subtle qualities, all the architecture points that you are locating to balance. And now leaning forward towards the chair. Palms are going to come down onto the seat. Starting to straighten the right leg a little bit, given that teaser of warrior 3, release the left leg back and foot down to the ground. Take a moment to check in with your stance, adjusting the feet as needed. So again, feet from front to back are a little closer together than perhaps a big lunge, right? You might even like to imagine you're on cross-country skis instead of a balance beam. So you can even look to your feet. What does it look like? Could you have cross-country skis on? Or are they really stacked like they're on a balance beam? Right. Cross-country skis can give more room and space for the pelvis to move in this posture. All right, from this pyramid pose shape, strong, steady legs pressing down to the earth. Looking at your left hand, looking at your right hand. Left hand's going to go where the right hand is. Right hand's going to go to your hip, right hip. And in that gesture, the rotation has already begun. Adding on rotation any amount. Legs stay rooting down as the left ribs continue to rotate around to the right, any amount. Right ribs start to float up. Maybe even your gaze turns a little more to the right. Left arm can slightly push the chair down. And if it feels okay in the shoulder on this side, slide your right hand over to your left waist. 2 more breaths. This is revolved triangle. And if your right hand was around the left waist, bring it back around to the hip. And rotate. Left hand moves so the right hand can go back to the chair, and then left hand back to your pyramid. And now easing out, soften into your knees so you can step left foot forward. And take in a tall mountain here. And release. From your mountain shape, you can step your feet just a little bit wider. Invite your hands back behind you, interlace your hands. Ground down, hips to feet, stand strong into your legs. And any amount, offer your arms and hands back. Right. Feeling this broadness, collarbone spreading from the center of the chest out to the shoulders. Arms reaching back any amount to the space behind you. And inviting a release of the arms, bringing them slowly in front and a little wiggle out. And now to take a seat in the chair. So coming to take a seat in the chair, sitting right on the edge. So as we've been exploring this month, the different shape changes of runners 4, it's really been about the shape changing that takes place in the thigh and the hip joint, right? It's like all the little subtle and big shape changing we can do. Runners 4, or that pigeon pose shape, is an external, like rotating, I'm opening my thigh and knee out. Now let's take eagle legs, where eagle legs invites the thigh to kind of cross your midline. So we're going to cross it over the left, which crosses your midline. And then the movement in your thigh, feel a rotating in. So it's kind of rotating to your left instead of opening to the right. Any amount, invite that hug of the right thigh in. Not trying to over squeeze, but feel enough connection that you could hold and abide, the legs hugging together. And as you do that, let's take eagle arms here. Arms reaching out in front, inviting right arm under your left. You can go through the hug, you can even stay there, or invite your arms up into eagle with the wrapping of your forearms and the intertwining of the hands. If you'd like today, invite the chin to lower down as you lift the elbows up. And as you create this action, there's this subtle movement of the shoulder blades where the muscles around the shoulder blades wrap out to the sides and forward. It's kind of this gesture forward to help lift the elbows. Releasing from your eagle arms. It might feel nice to reach arms out, broaden the legs for a moment. Maybe a little wiggle side to side. And let's do that on the other side. So left leg over the right. Again, external rotation is when we kind of open it out. The knee moves open to the left, right? And then taking internal rotation, we invite the thigh, so not moving from the knee, it's the thigh and the hip that starts to move to the right. In eagle, it crosses the thigh, crosses the midline, and then you keep rotating the thigh bone any amount, like you're steering a car, any amount to kind of hold the shape. Your right thigh is also kind of doing that action as well here. You might notice that. There's a little bit of both thighs rotating in. All right, eagle arms, reaching out with your arms, crossing right over left. Maybe starting with a hug or wrapping up through your arms. Chin can draw down slightly. Elbows can reach up slightly. Feeling the whole back muscles respond to this gesture of chin lowering, elbows lifting. Again, you might feel these kind of muscles around the shoulder blades opening slightly, wrapping forward slightly. Even a quality of lifting slightly. And then gently release, lifting the chin, releasing the arms, invite those arms out to the side, releasing that left leg. And again, maybe a little wiggly movement here, doing the wave with an imaginary partner, side to side. All right. Let's take a fold, broadening your feet. Nice. Hands on the thighs, slide them down your legs into a fold. Sitting on the edge of your seat is usually a little more comfortable in this fold. You might find that in your fold as well. Hands might rest to the earth. You might like to rest them on your feet. Sometimes it's fun to kind of wrap your arms around your legs and rest your hands on the outside of your feet. That's kind of fun. Play with it here, wherever you want your arms. They can even reach out, almost like a down dog shape, or back underneath the chair. Wherever you are, settle in for you 3 breaths. And then wherever your arms are, bring the hands back between the feet. Hands up to the thighs to assist you up and out. Great. Standing out of your chair to come up to mountain. As you do so, feel the sweet release of those hips. Perhaps even take your arms up. Take one more tall mountain, stretching, lengthening through the entire body from the earth to the sky. And bringing arms down by your side. Great. Stepping the feet wide as we did at the start of practice, real gentle here. Little swimming arms in water. Do a sway and twist. A few easy does it movements as we get ready for final relaxation pose. And then unwinding here, finding your mountain, taking a pause in your mountain pose. As you take a pause in your mountain pose, there's this kind of expression of we can take mountain and force the body into it, or we can just kind of get groovy into inviting the body to locate mountain. Locating a mountain pose that feels a very kind of sweet relationship with gravity. We're not forcing one way or the other, just aligning with gravity. So gravity and the space around you and mountain holds you. Like you're doing a standing shavasana. Take 2 more breaths in your standing shavasana. Imagine being a tree. A tree gets it, right? A tree's like, I just stand in shavasana all day long. The wind comes along, I don't care. Goes through my leaves and branches. I just stand in shavasana. Oh. All right, friends. Let's get ready to go to the floor, go to the earth. Adjusting your chair here. It can be up at the top of the mat. If you have a blanket today or a pillow, that might be something nice to have. As you make your way close to the earth, coming down, you have the option today, if you'd like, as we have all month, you can rest your legs up on the seat of the chair for relaxation. You can also turn your chair around, and for relaxation, you could put the back of your ankles, right? So your heels are up on the top of the seat. That gives you a little more of an incline, right? So I'll leave it here to demo that I think we did that in the first class of the month. All right. So let's do one bridge pose before final relaxation. So nice, gentle back bend and a nice release for the front of the hips after a lot of the flexion of the hips we've done today and rotations of the hips. So for a moment, as you rest your back, bringing your feet close together, resting your arms down into your floor, down through the earth. Grounding arms, hands, and feet as you rise up through the hips. And as the hips lift, you start to feel that lengthening tension, eccentric lengthening of the front body, thighs, front of the hips, up through the belly, the chest, from the center of the chest, it broadens to the shoulders as arms ground down even more. Back of the head rooted to the earth, the chin points to the chest, and any amount the chest comes more towards the chin. Two more breaths. Easy does it, releasing your bridge pose. As the spine comes back down to the ground, you might want to readjust shoulder blades. It also might feel nice this morning to invite your knees towards the chest, Kind of give your feet a little tap like Dorothy, like there's no place like home, right? Your feet tapping together. Invite your hands to your knees and a butterfly shape, bound angle. Maybe the knees, I'm gonna go open just for a moment. You can even hold your shins here if you like, or just hold the knees. Right leg, you can maybe release the right leg a little, give the ankle a twirl. I'm not stretching the right leg, I'm just bringing the foot up to the sky. My right knee's still pretty bent. And then bring that right foot down. Left leg, twirl the ankle around. You did a lot of standing today. Thank you for playing with me with all those standing postures, but let some tension out of the feet and ankles here. And then bring that left foot down. Both knees come back together. Give yourself a little hug. Setting up for final relaxation. You can take good old mountain on the ground relaxation. Place your lower legs on the seat, or if you have your chair like mine, placing the back of your ankle area up onto the top edge of your chair. It's very similar to almost a legs up the wall shape. If you have a blanket that might be on your chair, or you can use it for a pillow, depending on the temperature of your room, you can place it on you. Lovely. I highly recommend, if you have time today, to get outside and maybe do a shavasana outside today, even if it's 5 minutes. This is a treat this morning. But for you, taking in the sounds of nature that are around you. Nature is just anything that is occurring. The sounds in your house, maybe even the smells in your surroundings. The quality of air, very subtle perhaps on your skin. And then even in your surroundings, start to notice the quality of air as you notice your breathing. In and out through the nose. And as you breathe and notice gently this nourishment in and out through your nose, you can settle the back of the head more, back of the shoulders, back of the ribs. Inviting the arms to feel more settled, soft, releasing into the ground or wherever your hands are resting. Back of the hips, receiving the support of the earth. However your legs are taking shape for this shavasana, allow them to find that essence of support where the muscles and bones can just be. No more holding. Whole body, getting the support of earth, getting the support of the nature of this moment. And now as you continue to rest here, friends, inviting in this last poem by Mary Oliver for March. A poem that for many is one that might have been the first poem of Mary Oliver's that you've heard in the nature of your days. And may the words speak to you now as you continue to rest and care for yourself here. May they speak to you just as you need them today. This poem is called Wild Geese. You do not have to be good. You do not have to walk on your knees for 100 miles through the desert, repenting. You only have to let the soft animal of your body love what it loves. Tell me about despair, yours, and I will tell you mine. Meanwhile, the world goes on. Meanwhile, the sun and the clear pebbles of the rain are moving across the landscapes, over the prairies and the deep trees, the mountains and the rivers. Meanwhile, the wild geese, high in the clean blue air, are heading home again. Whoever you are, no matter how lonely, the world offers itself to your imagination, calls to you like the wild geese, harsh and exciting, over and over, announcing your place in the family of things. If time allows today, continue with this time of care and rest. If time now is a calling, a flowing into the next wonderful thing you get to do today. Maybe you're like, it's not that wonderful. I got to do some chores. But oh, take the wild wonder of awe and delight with you that you have cultivated this month in your practice. Play, curiosity, the creativity of nature, the creativity of you. See how you get to weave that through anything you play with in your day. You might like to roll to the side and come up to a seat if that is how you wish to end your practice today. Thank you for taking this time to come onto your mat. Thank you for taking this time to be here for yoga with me. From my house to your house, from my heart to your heart. The light in me honors and sees the light of kindness, of friendship, of compassion, and love in you. Thank you so much, friends. Namaste. Enjoy your day.